Behold! A board of 64 64s. Like that clip, you can too play with a deck that gives you boards of 64 64s, making you feel like you're playing Battlegrounds and not standard Hearthstone. Because, a little known fact, Storm Giant retains any buffs that it gains before you discount it using its forged ability. So, by using a Blackrock and Roll, Lothamar, and a Last Stand, you can get it up to such absurd heights. Now, you will also be able to duplicate it off of Melted Maker, as this will keep giving you 0-cost Storm Giants. For the Mulligan guide of the deck, the first card you're going to be looking for is a Blackrock and Roll. Outside of this, you're going to be looking for early game minions or early game removal tools such as Armor Smith or Verse Riff. Draw power is also great to keep, such as Shield or Block. Now, with that all being said, let's look at some games. Alright, time for a game against Demon Hunter. Ooh, Blackrock and Roll is always nice to see in the opening hand. Let's get rid of the other two, though. I'm hoping... Oh, is this going to be the dream game? Please tell me it is. Now, normally I wouldn't like seeing a 7-cost, a 5-cost, and a 1-cost in our starting hand. That is essentially another 7-cost. But for the memes, this is great. Now, all we need to know for sure is a Storm Giant being at the bottom of the deck. That's all we really need. And Demon Hunter is a little bit slowish. As long as we don't spam a lot of minions out and we have a lot of control tools, we should be fine. I know things like Brawl should be incredibly strong in this matchup. Speaking of Brawl, I guess we just hero power here. A Relic Vault. There is something with Demon Hunter I really want to try out. It was a Rivendare list. It was actually in my initial Theorycraft bids. And then Jotun didn't work how I wanted it to work, so... I can't read cards is what I'm trying to say. Alright, they're going to reduce 2 cards in their hand by 1. We're probably going to use the Lava Gorger next turn. I'm not too worried about leaving a lot of minions up. If they have the... It depends if they... Well, I can't remember. Did they have the Scythe at the beginning of the game? Let's put good old Odyn at the top of the deck just to gain some additional armor. Also, probably could have went for the other Last Stand that was right there. If we had, then we could have basically guaranteed drawing into the Storm Giant. Essentially, we only have 3 taunt minions in the entire deck. Okay, I think we probably won't do what I'm thinking exactly next turn. But I think we're just going to use Blackrock and Roll just to get it out of the way. I'm not worried about taking what? This is 6 damage. Okay, there's Jotun. Alright, now we can forge the Bellowing Flames. Get rid of everything except for 1 minion, probably. Hopefully it'll leave one of the 1/1s up. Ooh, I mean, 16/16 is cool, but I would have preferred that to stay in the deck. Alright, so we now know the Last Stand is a 50-50 shot of the other Storm Giant, which is actually pretty nice. If we can draw into the other Lava Gorger, we're perfect. So, man, they are going to be scaling quickly. Hopefully that doesn't let them play another Relic for free. It is amazing to me, like, how much incidental support that deck has gotten. There hasn't been a new Relic, but for some reason, it's still as powerful as ever, if not even more, because you have so many ways to get additional copies. It's a neat idea. Like, I don't mind it too much. It's one of the cooler packages that have been added to the game. Alright, let's just use Lothamar here. We could have also forged the Bellowing Flames and then used it next turn, or used it that turn. I'm not really too worried about how much damage they can do here. Again, we're still at 33 HP. We could also always just slam down Odyn, get some pressure on the board that way. Depending on if they have a Relic of Phantasms, I'm curious actually how that works there. Speaking of Relic of Phantasms, alright, so we got Brawl, and I think we're going to probably take the 50-50 shot on the Last Stand. Come on, there we go! Ah, yes, the 60-60 4. Oh. Now, are they going to stick around for long enough for us to actually be able to pull this off? Come on. You just want to pull this off against one real person once. We could also just slam down the 16/16 too at any point. I think we're probably going to slam down Odyn next turn. Also, the nice thing there was we essentially knew we were going to get a Storm Giant eventually. Armorer's interesting. We can forge this a few times. And then I think we're going to forge the Belving Flames. Then just get rid of everything on board. They're not at 10 mana yet, so I'm not worried about an Astalor yet. Really could use a Melted Maker right about now. That would be really, really nice. It should be a 12/12 also. If I did my math right, I think it should be a 12/12. Because it should go from a 3/3 to a 6/6 to a, yeah, 12/12. Okay, there's their audio amplifier. That is a curious card to include in that deck because I don't think 1 extra mana matters most of the time. Maybe it's for hand size instead. Alright, let's armor up, see what we can grab. Shield block, that's always nice. Let's trade this in at least once more. Then draw in our card. Can we see it? No, and our shield block is still another draw, so that's good. Argus, okay. I love Argus as a character and his design. It looks so nice. I just wish there was a good deck to fit him in. To abuse some type of factor of him. Come on. We have 20-ish cards left in deck. Hey, Melted Maker. Let's go. We did it. I dreamed of this moment. It's not a complete board of 64s, but it's close enough. Good luck dealing with this, my friend. Shuffling some cards into their deck. I give them credit where credit's due. They're not giving up instantaneously. I would. You're not playing one of the 3 classes that can easily deal with this board. And even if you can, like, I'll just slam down the last one in my hand next turn. Okay. Okay. Oh, can they do 64 damage to these? I mean, that's 10. That's another 10. I don't think that's enough. I don't think that's enough at all. Bye-bye. Alright, we're going to get rid of that. Actually, perfect curve. Oh, really, really perfect curve. Also depends on, like, what type of Druid deck this is going to be. Because the idea would be slam this down turn 1, and then maybe forge into this or use shield block turn 2. Well, hope they don't. Let's hope they drew 3 spirit. Of course, they drew into Groovy Cat. Just because I'm going to be greedy with that. Let's just gain a bunch of armor. Brawl's going to be good. Belling Flames will probably use in a turn or 2. We also probably should have just kept the coin for turn 4 and then use Blackrock and roll, but it is what it is. Getting the 9 armor on turn 2 is pretty decent though. Alright, I think we Melted Maker. I will take you in a heartbeat. This is one of those cards that I would love to slam it down on a turn, but I know it's not going to stick. Alright, give us something cool. Lava Gorger. I'll take a Naga Giant. I will take 28 armor for free. Thank you very much. Actually, we probably should have grabbed Ignis. And then whenever we drew into Odyn, we would have been good. But, you know, hindsight is 20/20, am I right? Then we just Blackrock and roll next turn. Oh, break. Great. Blackrock and roll. Yeah, we really should have went for the Ignis first. I just saw, like, +20 on armor. It's just such a nice hit. But saving it for later would have been better. Because we could have, like, what if we draw into Odyn? I have yet to see Odyn a single one of these games that we've played. But in theory, the second we draw into Odyn, we're in a good position. Let's get rid of this. And we're forging this down once. I just, again, Melted Maker, I really do wish it was 1 mana cheaper. But I think this is the game where we can get a board of Storm Giants and they just won't have an answer. Actually, never mind. There is one answer that they could easily get. Yeah, sure. Overextend, please. I don't know if, I think the name that people are giving this deck is Mommy Druid, because of ENR being a mommy, I guess. I don't know if they run Mishmash Mosher still, because if they do, that is the one answer that they have, or would have, is to the Storm Giants. But I think what we do next turn... This is a cool, like, concept for a Druid deck, though. I will say, like, this is cool. Alright, brawl our way. Just get rid of ENR, please. Thank you. That's all I cared about. Alright, now we get rid of the 16. I think so next turn we're going to be at 7 mana. I think the idea would be forge once on the Storm and then use Minotaurin. Minotaurin's like signature card looks so cool too. Ironically, not technically a Tauren. It's a Yongle, not a Tauren. Yongles were what Taurens evolved from. Alright, can we get that second brawl on the top deck? No, we can get Odyn though. Thanks, game. So we're alive, right? They have, well, on board, they currently have 4 times 6, 24 damage. We have 14 armor. And then they also have, we might be screwed. It depends on if they have the other drum circle. Oh, or Cultivation, I think, is the other card that buffs up the board. They are really searching for it, though. Top deck Brawl would be really, really nice right about now. Okay, that isn't Brawl. Oh, okay, come on, Brawl. Brawl. 1 in 27 odds. Brawl. Shield block isn't Brawl. It could be Brawl, but I think this is the safer bet. And they have a full board, so they can't do Mishmash Mosher either, right? That's the idea. Now, the problem here is we just turned off our Brawl. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think we had another option there, to be honest. Maybe we could have kept one of the Giants in hand, but I just didn't want to risk them having something. Oh! 3 damage to everything, because why wouldn't they have 3 damage to everything? Okay. You know what's also the downside about these in particular? They cost 0, which means if someone has Primordial Wave, you instantly just lose the entire board. I don't know why you attacked into that, but okay. Down in Flames. Getting rid of that. Such a nice hit. We still had the mana for it. Alright, let's slam this down. Yeah, well, it's good to know if you're playing this deck, but, like, that's also why, like, the giant list that I had for Shaman I gave up on so quickly was because I realized the Primordial Wave just gets me, like, 1/1s or 0/3s that I have literally nothing to do with. It's kind of strange that we're technically still in this game, and I don't know how. Right? Anyone else find that a little bit strange? After that huge turn that they did, Are they just giving up? I mean, this was a good game. Okay, so a game against Priest. So let's see what they have in store for us. Blackrock and Roll is actually probably something that we can easily keep. Brawl is also something that I'm not really thinking we're going to have to worry too much about, just because this is Priest. And the Priest deck that tends to be floating around the most in this set tends to be Control. So they aren't going to play that many minions. Okay, Armored Vendor. Oh, that's kind of interesting. They are a 40 card list. We also are going to coin out Audio Amplifier just to get it out. Audio Amplifier solved a lot of the issues that I was having with a lot of the Storm Giant lists that I made, where Melted Maker is a 3-cost card, so you can use it and slam down a bunch of additional Storm Giants, and by giving 1 additional mana, we actually fixed a lot of those issues. Alright, so how do we want to do this? I think we're probably going to end up wanting to forge Bellowing Flames. Yeah, let's just do that. Alright, they got rid of our audio amplifier. That's perfectly fine. That also helps us with getting rid of their minion. Okay. I think we were going to save the Verse Riff for next turn so we can actually draw 2 cards off of the armor, which is always nice. Let's slam down our own armor vendor. That's actually a little bit better than using the Verse Rift now, because we can use the Verse Rift to summon additional... Ooh. Of course they got Lava Gorgers, so... This is probably one of our worst matchups just because they probably also have Whirlpool, I'd assume. If they're a 40-card list for Control Priest, Whirlpool I think is almost a given. Did get the Blackrock and Roll out, which is great. It helps us out actually a lot. Also, they do have Shard of the Naru probably, I'd assume, too, which is also another card that could be very, very annoying. Let's get rid of the 3/5. I'm hoping that gets rid of the Dirty Rat, and it does not look like it is. Alright, we can use Bellowing Flames number 2, and then just pass it back. We probably should have actually used Verse Rift there, just to get rid of the Dirty Rat. Sure, take our draw card out of our hand. I don't... Out of all the minions that they could have dragged out of our hand, honestly, I'm fine with them doing it on this. Let's use a Trial by Fire. Rid of both Dirty Rats, and then we'll have these 3 left alive. Though, oh, Dirty Rat's not going to do anything. I know Control Priest is so centered around Dirty Rat right now that it isn't even funny. But when we have a deck where half of our cards are spells, it just doesn't work so well for them. There's the Steam Guardian. Let's draw a card. Lava Gorger, perfect. Let's go with Ignis, because we forged a few cards, so we should get a lot of advantage off of the weapon that we can generate. We might actually go for the 10-cost weapon, which isn't normally like what I want to do, but still works. I'm just hoping they don't have an easy removal tool for the 14-18. Okay, they're forging something down. I'm assuming that's Creation Protocol. Yes, it is. Well, of course they're running Ruin. Who is running Ruin nowadays? Oh, man. Alright, we can either go for the 10-cost card, so we have a turn for next turn. And I think we will. Oh, Wind Fury is so nice. Wind Fury and 2 random 8 costs. I'll take that. Don't mind if I do. So many good 8 costs for this. Oh, Amanthul. Right, the problem is I don't really want to let Amanthul live. They probably have an additional copy because they probably got it off of Creation Protocol. But I don't know if I want to ram into that twice is the problem. 5-11. Oh, they have the Synchronize, so we're going to have to deal with the second Amanthul anyways. 16-16 is still pretty good. Ain't a 64-64, but it is... Ooh! Now that is a spicy random generation. Let's see what else we can grab. Oh, that's even spicier. Probably should have just went face there, but this should, in theory, keep more minions alive, and they might actually just Amanthul us again. Yes, they are. I was going to say they probably will Amanthul get rid of both minions, but if we only left one up, they might not. Now, do we want to attack into that? Oh, it's Melted Maker top deck. Now, that is what I call a top deck. Down to 3 HP. We can use a Bridge Rift. Bridging our way to victory. Come on, give us something cool for a random generation. Not the best 8-drop for this deck in particular. Okay, that definitely is probably the worst 8-drop that it possibly could have been. No taunt, no nothing, just a battle cry that does absolutely... Yes, that dragon is going to get itself burnt. Then they'll probably use Amanthul on the 5/7, and I'm assuming a 4/3. Yeah. How much damage do we have on board? We have 6, 10. Oh, actually, never mind. We have a lot more there. If I caught it. Oh, I did catch it because we have 11 mana. I forgot we had 11 mana. Up to 9 attack. And for lethal. We forged our way to victory. Alright, now that we're through the games, let's discuss my final thoughts of the deck. So, I was actually shocked. This deck actually felt incredibly strong, and it had some very shocking synergy. I would have never expected that Storm Giant would retain any buffs that you gave it before you forged it down, as I didn't expect the card to count as the same card as before. But it turns out forged cards work a little bit differently than infused cards, to my happiness, and I was able to pull off the 64-64 board twice within 21 games and ended up with a 57% win rate. And because of which I can easily recommend the deck. I tried a lot of different classes out with the Storm Giant and Melted Maker combo, but this one felt the most consistent and also happened to be the most wacky out of all of the lists. Like always, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, bye bye.